Hi, it's Robin. At the Thunder Bay Retro Computer Club meetup this month, my friend DJ Schurz brought one of his latest retro finds, this VTech PreComputer 1000, which was released in 1988. I've been looking around for one of these, so I'm really glad he let me borrow it to make this video. Despite it being more or less a toy, it's got a Z or Z80 processor in it, and apparently it can be hacked to run CP/M. You might know DJ from all his great work on the NABU, including porting CP/M to the NABU. I think DJ is going to try that CP/M hack when I give this back to him, so you might want to subscribe to his channel if you haven't already to see what he does with it in the future. Now, I've always been interested in these sorts of electronic toys. They're like simplified computers with a keyboard, often with an educational slant to it to get parents to buy it. This even says educational electronics on it. It seems there have been probably hundreds of different gadgets made over the years by many companies, especially VTech, but also others, and I pick them up at the thrift shop whenever I see them for a few bucks. For example, this Clico talking teacher that both does some language and some math drills. C'est moi la dictée magique from Texas Instruments, better known as the Speak and Spell. This is the French version I picked up. There were even these little Franklin portables that were aimed more at adults. This one actually has the Bible on it, but they also made things like dictionaries or travel dictionaries, translators, I think even encyclopedias or whatever. And if you look through old toy catalogs, you'll see some that are in the shape of clamshell laptops too. I've got one of those somewhere around here, but my kids play with it sometimes. I just can't find it now. Here's some pictures from some catalogs. But many of these products only do maybe one or two things, such as word games or math drills, or maybe let you look up some information. They also generally have terrible keyboards, either membrane or little calculator buttons, and most of them can't be programmed to do new things. But this PreComputer 1000 seems a lot more interesting because it actually has a decent keyboard by toy standards. I don't mean it's good, but compared to almost any other toy computer, this keyboard's fantastic. It has many activities and features built in, even including programmability in BASIC. So I want to take a look at it today while I'm borrowing it. DJ even got the box for it. It's a little bit beat up, but overall in good shape. The 3-in-1 computer teacher teaches touch typing, basic computer programming, and over 1,000 facts. It stimulates learning and challenges the user with 4 levels of difficulty in history, science, geography, and general facts. Includes 5 math activities, word games, and a calculator too. Tutors in basic programming, gives the feel of a real computer. Word games add to the fun and can be played with 1 or 2 players, helps build confidence and improves student performance. Is that the guy's mom or his older sister? And here under the tape, look, even old dad is giving it a try here. Hey, just look around the computer here. Has a very big handle on it, and it's pretty lightweight, at least without the batteries in it. Unfortunately, it's missing the battery door. DJ might do a 3D print, make a new one there. That takes 6 C batteries. That's pretty huge. And of course, it weighs quite a bit more when it's got batteries in it, but still very portable. Alternatively, found that you can just use a stock Atari 2600 power supply for it. That output 9-volt DC, center positive. I think it's at least 300 milliamps. This one puts out 500. Place for the power adapter. So I'll just run it off of DC power today. Maybe the weakest thing about this system is the display. It's just a single line, 20-character LCD. The manual actually dares to try to spin this into a positive, saying it allows you to concentrate on one line at a time. Well, we all know that seeing 2 or more lines at once is very distracting, Would a zero-line display be even better? You wouldn't be distracted at all. And over here on the left side is a cartridge slot, which has the edge connector doing that cheap Timex Sinclair kind of thing. So each cartridge has to have the more expensive female connector on it. I don't have any cartridges for that, unfortunately, but apparently they were available for about $20 each. And there were at least 4 or 5 of them. They all seem to be add-ons for the various trivia games built into this. Below the display, it has a whole bunch of function buttons that select all the different modes, all the different games and programs that are built into this that we'll go through in detail later. It also has a display contrast switch for either low or high. The better choice mostly just depends on the particular lighting conditions or lighting angle. And the power on and off buttons. And finally we have the keyboard, which is undoubtedly very cheap and plastic feeling, but it is totally possible to touch type on this keyboard. And that's consistent with it having the typing course feature built in. At first it wasn't obvious to me what the gray and white stripes were, but then I realized it's for each zone of the finger, each alternating color. For example, the pinky is for this gray zone here, then the ring finger is for the white. Anyway, it just indicates the zone for each finger as long as you get your fingers correctly in the home position with F and J for the 2 pointers. So I've been using this for a few days now, and it is so much nicer than, say, my Commodore Max keyboard, Atari 400 keyboard, or any of those Timex Sinclair machines that I use sometimes. This is better than them all. Actually, almost reminds me of this Radio Shack TRS-80 Model 100 portable computer. Now, this has a way better keyboard still, and a much bigger screen. But this was originally $800 for just the 8 kilobyte model and $1,000 for the 24K model. And then even by 1988, when that PreComputer 1000 was released, the replacement model 102 was still selling for $500 for the 24K model, while the PreComputer, according to the Sears Christmas Wish Book for 1988, was only $69 or $70. That is a very big difference. So internally, this has a Zilog Z84C0004PEC, which is a I'm going to say Z sometimes, Z80 CPU, but it's a somewhat newer CMOS version, which uses less power than the older NMOS Z80s, and allow it to run for a decent length of time on batteries. Even though it's rated for 4 megahertz, it's almost certainly underclocked, probably to preserve battery life. My guess is it's running around half speed, 2 megahertz, and I'll show a bit of evidence for that later on. I saw one source that said it had 16K of RAM. I believe it actually has, this is a 16 kilobit RAM, a Hyundai HY6116AP10, and that's 2K of 8-bit SRAM. It also has a 1 megabit, that is 128 kilobyte ROM to contain all this software. And DJ also got the book for it, and that's a really good thing because it actually contains a lot of information. Kind of like a lot of other typing books. It's got about, what has it got? About 44 pages one way, and then you flip it over and it continues the other direction. So it describes the games. It also has typing tutorials in it, and then quite a bit of information about the basic language built into it. So we'll look at that a little bit more later. Okay, so I've plugged it into the DC power. Here we go, we'll try powering it up. Copyright 1988 video technology. And yes, it plays little jingles quite a bit. Oh yeah, and the computer does have an auto power off feature in any mode except when you're in the programming or the basic mode. Because if you're busy typing in a program and the computer shuts down, it actually loses your program. And that would be pretty upsetting if it shut down, because you got called away to dinner or whatever. Okay, so we'll work our way through the features. I'm going to go with the basic last because we'll probably spend the most time in that. And as always, I've got chapter indexes if you don't care about any of the other games. But I really do want to document all the features that were packed into this thing. Okay, so we'll start here with the trivia games, general knowledge. select level 1 to 4. And I'll do level 1. I better be able to answer this. Number of players, 1 or 2. We'll just do 1 player. Okay. How many stripes are in the American flag? I don't know that. I'm Canadian. 11. Oh yeah, it says it's got caps lock, but it's actually like shift lock. Okay, I press the erase button. 11. No. Try again. 13. Yes, you are right. Thank you. A pronoun is a word used to replace a proper noun? No. You can press the repeat button. I'm showing how stupid I am, eh? A pronoun is a word used to replace just a noun. Yes, you are right. Okay, well, you get the idea. So that's general knowledge. Let's try history. I can be stupid in this too. Select level 1. Number of players. Okay, this time I'll do 2 player. And the right player name, I don't know why it asks for right first, but let's call him righty. And we'll call her lefty. Which war began at Lexington and Concord? Okay, so you're able to buzz in. This is like the left player's buzzer here and the right player's buzzer. Righty buzzed in. I don't know. Revolution. The correct answer is Revolutionary War. Oh. Okay, score. Left player has 100 and righty lost 10 there. What nation attacked the U.S. fleet at Pearl Harbor? Lefty goes in. Japan. Yes, you are right. Wow, quite the topics today, eh? Score 110. Okay, lefty's really winning. Okay, that's enough history. Let's try geography. Select level. I'm going to go for level 4. Number of players. And again, I think all of them let you do that buzz-in system. I'll just do 1. Which Great Lake belongs only to the USA? That would be Michigan. Yes, you are right. All the rest are half Canadian. What's the largest U.S. city on the border with Canada? I guess that's Detroit, along with Windsor. Ooh. Yes, you are right. That's funny. I'm better at level 4 geography than I am at anything else. What is the capital city of Morocco? Time to go to science. Select level 2. Number of players, 2. Oh, I don't have to do that again. Righty and lefty again. When a beetle or a shrimp sheds its outer skeleton, extra space between after the skeleton there. What is it doing when it sheds it? Oh, look, it bounces between the two. Lefty buzzes in. It is molting. The correct answer is... Oh, get out! I put you in! Oh, these American... Anyway. Okay, so that's those 4 trivia ones here. There's also this cartridge button, and I'll press it, but it says insert cartridge. Okay, like I said, I don't have one. It actually reboots. But as far as I know, the cartridge button basically adds extra trivia questions in other categories. That is, I don't think the cartridges can contain generic code. I think they're kind of set up to only provide data packs that run under that little trivia engine, trivia system. I think, but I'm not certain about that. Okay, let's go into the math games. Math quiz. Okay, let's try the math quiz. Select level 4. Number of players, I'll just do 1 again. $92 by $76. Oh man. Well, can I do this in my head? Okay, if it was times 100, it would be 7,600. And it's going to be 8 less of the, well, okay, well, 10 less would be 760. So if we had 90 of them, 6,840, 6,992. Yes! Yes, you are right. That's hard to do in my head. Okay. 628 minus 270. 300 would be 328. 358. Yes, you are right. Okay. That's enough of that. That's math quiz. Fractions. Yeah, these are super hard. I'm going to even try level 2. Funny that they don't have a level 1. Level 2 fractions, the easiest fraction built into this. So like 3/7 plus 3/8. Can you do that? Convert those both to 56ths, right? So that would be 24 plus 21, 45 56ths. Yes, you are right. And one more. 1/2 plus 1/2. Well, finally, that's easy. 1. Yes, you are right. 2/3 minus 1/6. So that would be 4/6, 3/6, which is reduced to 1/2. Okay, well, some of those are easy. Okay, back to math. Fractions, decimals. Level 4. Number of players, 1. Jingles are pretty goofy, eh? What? 1.974 divided by 0.47. Are you serious? How many times What? Okay, I cheated for that one. I typed into my C64 4.2. Okay, well, at least that's more fair. So that's just 816.8. Okay, math. Did I get all the sections there? Fractions, decimals, mixed calculation. Oh, and story problems. Okay, let's try 4. Mixed calculation. Level 2. Number of players, 1. $44 minus 4 is 40. So that'd be minus 23. It's a little weird. Minus is up here on the shift 6. Minus 23. A2 minus 15 is 67. Yes, you were right. Okay, now let's try math, and those number 5 is those story problems. Level 3. 1 player. Kathy has $5. How much more will she need to buy 3 folders that cost $2.76 each? Okay, so that is $2.75, $5.50, $7.50, $8.25, $8.28, $3.28 extra. Yes, you are right. So these word problems are kind of funny. They're kind of long too, eh? A jet plane traveled 19.2 miles in 2.4 hours. How far did the plane travel in 1 hour? Okay, well, half of that, right? So, sorry, I can't even remember that. 1219, so 609 point, oh no, by 2.4, I can't do that in my head. Okay, that's enough of that. Calculator. Okay, in calculator mode just lets you use it like a regular calculator, where you've got your number keys along here, and then here on the keyboard in these little black areas reversed are various calculator keys. So like, you can go 5 times 5. So I pressed R, but I got the multiplication X looking thing there. And I press return or enter. Oh, no. Oh yeah, and weirdly you have to go over here and press equals on the Q key. It's kind of weird that they got way over on the left. There we go, 25. And we can put that into memory, M in. And then down here, we can clear the screen with the AC. But then we can use MR to recall that 25 still. And, divide it by 12 equals, ooh, that's got a lot of numbers there. I'm going to multiply that by 12 again. Equals 25. Good. So yeah, it has memory in, memory recall, and then also adding or subtracting to memory. And way down here is that clear button. Well, all clear. Unfortunately, it doesn't clear the memory. So anyway, that calculator can be handy. Okay, we'll look at the games mode here. Typing fun. Typing fun. Select level 2. Okay, chance 3. That's like your live score. Okay, and the letters scroll on. And then you just type them from the left side and make them disappear. Starts off a bit too slow, I think, even on level 2. but eventually it gets fast. I do think these kind of games are pretty good for learning typing, though, for learning the keyboard. Some of my kids are learning how to type. One last one. H. Chance 3, score 67. So I found once the score gets to about 500, it really goes at a good speed. Whoops. You see, I can be pretty accurate with this keyboard. Like, it's got that kind of shaky, loose sound to it. Like, I prefer the C64 keyboard or modern keyboard, of course, but this is totally an acceptable keyboard compared to a lot of cheap keyboards. You see it gradually speeds up here. NABU. The letters don't seem totally random because it seems like little parts of words appear more often than I might expect otherwise. Well, you get the point, eh? Okay. Games. Typing fun. Hangman. And Hangman, of course, is a word guessing game. Select level. Level 2. Number of players, we'll just do 1. Can do alternating. Okay, and it does actually draw the hangman, but it says you got 9 guesses left. And we've got a 6-letter word here, so what, we'll do a vowel like E. Common letters, no N, it's not there. R. Okay. What could that be? Not P, how about not S, T, not G, crater. And 5 guesses, or with 5 left. It's not too bad. Okay, one more. E, nope. A, just one A. No O. 2 I's. T, L. Oh, did I do that already? Oh, digital. 5 left again. And once again, games, Hangman, Scramble. And level 1. Number of players, 1. Oh, lib, dib, dibble. What, only 1 vowel? B, dil, da. That should be easy. The I's gotta be in the middle, right? Oh, yeah. I must be blind. Actually terrible at that. My dad's super good at Scramble, and I am... at Scrabble. Yes, you are right. Sure takes its time, eh? Well, that must be brain. Okay, and we'll get to that typing. Select class 1 through 9. Class 1. Lesson 1. Okay, and actually shows the letters of the home row here on the screen. Okay, so we're supposed to type L, J, A. If you've done much typing, it's actually weird that it includes the apostrophe, but I guess that is on the home row. S, D, A, K, L. So it's just that kind of typing drill. I actually kind of like this one where it shows, the position of the key that you're supposed to type. Might go on a little bit too long here. Okay, the score is 68. Okay, if we do the typing drill, jump up to class 5, lesson 5. Okay, so it's got some capital letters here. A, period, A, lowercase a, percentage. So by this point, you're doing pretty much the whole keyboard. Oh, the score is 46. Okay, so if we go into typing class, if you select anything past level 5, like from 6 here, then you actually have to open up the book. Lesson 6 is on page 24. Let's see if I can put this here. I'll just overlay it with the picture if it's not very visible in the camera. So we did lesson 6. I'm going to do level 1. And then you have to type in from the book here. And this is just like my grade 9 typing. A lad had a gal. A gal had a dad. A lad asks a gal's dad. A sad lad laughs a lass laugh. Alas, all lads shall fall. Dads all add as lads ask dads. Gals shall dash as lads ask. This is quite quite the story. A glass lass has a sad salad. Gals shall lag as fads jag. Lads dads has glad gals. Speed 45 words per minute. Accuracy 100. Woo! You know, just level 6 there. Has 4 levels. Whoa. Level 4. Okay, because I can hear you begging, we'll try class 6. Level 4. Now where's that? Oh yeah. 75% of US 3999 isn't quite $3,000, period. 1220 if x equals y, well, this is some basic code, plus 789, then go to 5. Oh, what's wrong? Go to 550. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's like I maxed it out, but okay, well, you get the idea anyway. The moment of truth is finally here. We tried everything in here. That took longer than I thought. So we're going to go here into computer drill. And bizarrely, that's the programming mode. There's like really no drill going on here, but I'll explain it. So if you choose section 1, that has these example programs. Example programs. They are listed in the manual. There's a printout of them. So here, we're going to try example 4, which is an alarm clock. So we'll just run it first. And minutes, just so we're not boring you too much, we're going to do 10 seconds on this alarm clock. And then it waits about 10 seconds, and then it sets an alarm, or sounds an alarm. There we go. Okay, so we can look at the program. We'll list it. And yeah, it only shows one line at a time because, well, that's all it can do. Input minutes. So on the PreComputer here, with the one-line display, it almost always is waiting for you to press enter to do the next thing. So input minutes, line 20, input seconds, line 30 for variable A1 equals 1 to m times 60 plus s, which is the number of seconds. So basically it's just taking the number of minutes you typed in, multiplying it by 60 seconds, and then adding the loose or spare seconds on. So you have a big loop. Line 40 for A2 equals 1 to 630, and that's like a magic number. And then we'll see. So it's just going to count or loop 630 times. Next, next. And yeah, you don't have to put A1 or A2 as a variable in this version of BASIC apparently. And that makes a sound number 31. And I think that's the duration 9. Okay, so what is that magic number 630? Well, that's roughly the number of times a loop has to go through to delay 1 second. So each of these inner loops is waiting approximately 1 second, just burning cycles, and then the outer loop is counting those roughly 1 second delays. So I think this is the proof here that this Z80 processor is not running at 4 megahertz, because even a 1 megahertz 6502 on like a C64 takes about 1,000 basic iterations for 1 second. So this is, 63% of the speed of a Commodore 64 at 1 megahertz. As I've said before, a Z80 processor is much slower or inefficient per cycle, where a 6502 will typically run at 1 to 2 megahertz. Z80 will run at least 2, but often 3 or 4 megahertz range to be equivalent. In fact, twice as fast often isn't enough for a Z80 to match the throughput of a 6502. The 6502 is just much more efficient per clock cycle. Lots of instructions only take 2 cycles on a 6502 up to a maximum of 7, while on a Z80, lots take 4, 5, 6, even up to 11, or even more. Now, of course, we don't know exactly what BASIC this is or how fast it runs, but I would just guesstimate that maybe the Z80 is running about 2 megahertz at the tops for it to end up needing this magic number of 630 to delay a second. Okay, so there's 9 little programs like that, but none of them are hugely interesting, I think. Well, maybe we'll look at another one in a bit. But here, if I go back into Computer Drill, example programs is option 1, but Basic Computer is number 2, so I'll just choose Basic Computer. Oh yeah, and by the way, it forces caps lock on. So this is just freeform basic programming now, just you and the computer. So again, the computer drill is really a misnomer. Either, no matter what, you're just in free basic. You can either load one of the programs that's saved in ROM, or you can just enter your own programs. Okay, so let's try and do 10 print here. We have a character string command here. And on the C64, normally I would try and print character 205. But that is going to give an FC error. Okay? And that FC error actually means illegal function call, that the parameter is out of range. And that's because the character string function on this only allows a value between 32 and 127. Here are all the printable characters on this computer. So the closest thing to our slash that we want for our 10 print, character 47 is a slash, and character 92 is the backslash. So we've done this kind of 10 print on other systems before. So let's just try it. We'll see if line 0 works. We're going to print. The regular print shortcut works. Print character string bracket 45 times the random function. And now random 2 on this computer returns a random number, either 1 or 2, just integers. If you do random 0, then it will return the float from 0 to 1. But if it's a positive integer, then it will do a number between 1 and that. I guess random 1 is kind of useless then. But anyway, random 2 will return either a 1 or a 2. So that'll either multiply 45 times 1 or 2, so you get 45 or 90. And what we want is 47 or 92, so we just have to add 2. And now we'll get our 47 or 92. And then we'll do a semicolon to preserve our spot on the line, colon, and go to, actually just for kicks. Let's see if we can do go to without a line number. Okay, we can list our program. It's a little too long to fit on a line, so you can scroll through it with these left and right cursor keys up here. Press enter, and let's try running it. Okay, there's our slash. This is like temprint. But, see, a problem here is that we have to press enter for every single character. Oh, there, and then we go on to the next line. I guess doing 10 print on a one-line display is pretty stupid. But I was actually surprised that you have to press return or enter for every single character. Okay, we can break out here. Now, if we list the program, we actually can't edit it here. Even though you can move the cursor around, if you try to type, it does not allow it. So you can't just list the program. You have to use the edit command, edit line 0, and there it is. So I was kind of surprised that even after a semicolon, the computer pauses each time. Now there isn't a regular backspace on this computer, which is a little bit annoying, but fortunately it does at least have a delete key which pulls everything from the right. So there. I got rid of the semicolon just in case that helps. Let's try running it. Okay, well, still just print one character. Well, now it actually just does a new line each time. So that's even worse. Okay, so we'll throw that out, and I'll show you the best temprint I came up with for this computer. It still fits on one line, fortunately. So line 0, a string equals, and we're just going to define an empty or blank string. And then we're going to do a for next loop for x equals 1 to 18. Forgive the lack of white space here. And we're going to loop 18 times where a string equals a string plus that same little bit of code we just did, character string 45 times random 2 plus 2, close bracket, colon, next. Okay, so what we're doing is building up a string 18 characters long that's full of those random slashes. And then at the end, we're just going to print the generated string, and then we're going to go to. And that'll go back to the beginning of the program, beginning of the line, and it will once again blank out our A string here. There it is. And then build a new one. Okay, let's try that. At least it's still one line. Run. Okay, and there's our little maze. And if I press return, there's a new line of the maze. So that was about the best I could get it. Not much of a maze there, but at least it's one fairly long line for each step. We'll edit 0 again. See if 19 does work. I think for sure 20 doesn't. Okay, well, we're trying to run that. Okay, yeah, then it actually prints the line, pauses, and then I guess goes on to the next line. It does have some amount of delay and auto advance. So that's why I didn't like as much. If I did 19, it only displays the maze, but then you still have to press enter. So that seemed worse to me. So I was looking into this basic. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have poke or peek or sys or the user or call so that you could directly modify memory and execute machine code, because that would really open this computer up. That'd be a lot of fun, and unfortunately they seem to have blocked that, I guess, on purpose. So otherwise, it's just kind of all the regular simple basic commands. It does have an if-else, which is nice. That's +1 over the Commerce 64. It only seems to have one other fun command built into it. So let's try that. Just go back into that computer drill, example programs, and we'll load example 3. Okay, and we'll try running this. This program is called Rock and Roll. That, I guess, is rock and roll. Sound more like ambulance or something. Maybe they rock and rolled too hard. Okay, so is this program to line 10 sets P1 to 16 and P2 to 23. I think those are pitch 1 and pitch 2. D1 equals 3 and D2 equals 2. I think those are durations, 3 and 2. And that does a loop 5 times. And inside that loop, it does pitch 1 for duration 1, just the sound command. Then pitch 2 for duration 2. And then again, pitch 2 for duration 2. Next. And the program's over. It's playing a group of 3 notes 5 times. And I guess that's rock and roll. Well, that wasn't so great. So let's try and find a little bit better of a music example. Go back into computer drill and basic. So here's a listing for Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Oh, that's a lot of data statements. But I'm going to try and type it in. And hopefully this will be better music than that rock and roll. If it's not, at least you'll know I did my best for you guys. I really tried. Okay, so shout really loud if I make a mistake. Line 2, data, 21, 4, 21, 4, 28, 4, 28, 4, 30, 4, 30, 4, 28, 6, 26, 4, 26, 4, 25, 4. Okay. And yeah, it is annoying how this doesn't have a backspace. It's like as bad as an Apple II. Okay, line 4. Again, data. So each of these numbers, I think, represents a note. And it's a weird scale from like note 1 to 31. And a duration from 1 to 9 or something like that. Line 4, data, 25, 4, 23, 4, 23, 4, 21, 6, 28, 4, 28, 4, 26, 4, 26, 4, 25, 4, 25, 4, 23, 6. Whoop. Oh, okay. You know what? I gotta squish it up a little bit more. I tried to put the space in. And the line doesn't fit. I think it has like a 60 character line length. So I actually have to go here, press delete. I'm going to squeeze up here, delete. I have to scroll all the way to the end again. So I can fit in those last couple character, or last character. 23, 6. Okay, good. Line 6, data. 28, 4, 28, 4, 26, 4, 26, 4, 25, 4, 25, 4, 23, 6, 21, 4, 21, 4, 28, 4, 28, 4. I gotta say again, this keyboard for a $70 toy is really not bad. Like, this isn't nearly as painful as I thought it would be. Or if this was like on the Timex or whatever, oh. As much as I love you guys, I don't know if I'd do this for that. Okay, here we go. 8, data 30, 4, 30, 4, 28, 6, 26, 4, 26, 4, 25, 4, 25, 4, 23, 4, 23, 21, 6. Okay, and now here comes the actual program. For I equals 1 to 42, and then we're going to read in F, which I guess is the frequency, and D for the duration, and then we're going to play sound F, D, and then next, and then we're going to end. I don't think the end is even really necessary. Okay, I didn't hear you guys yell, so I think I didn't make any mistakes. I'm going to try and run it. Let's see what happens. Are we going to get Twinkle Twinkle? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, perfect. That was better than rock and roll, eh? Okay, so I guess in conclusion, I think it's neat that there is this $70 machine like this that could be used to practice typing, play trivia games with a decent keyboard. Can even be used to program. It's self-contained. It didn't need the TV. You could bring it to grandma's. And it can even run on batteries. Now, the inability to save and load programs is really unfortunate. And, the tiny screen isn't great too. But I still think I would have been happy with this at a certain age. By 88, I was pretty spoiled. In fact, I was even getting my Amiga by 1988. But had I been able to get something like this back in, say, 82 or 83, when I was 10 or 11 years old, this really would have been something I would have been pretty happy with for a while. So from $70 to go $500 all the way up to Radio Shack's Model 102 is a huge jump in price. I did a little bit more looking into this, and VTech actually did make a computer called the Laser 50 back in 1984, 1985. That was a lot like this. It was mostly just the basic without the extra games and trivia, and it had a cassette interface. So actually that's closer to what I'd like, but the screen is even smaller, just a single line of 16 characters. I've never seen one of those in person, but the 8-bit guy did make a video about it about 6 years ago. And then a couple years after this PreComputer 1000, VTech made something called the Laser PC4, which I think has a 40 character by 4 line screen, pretty good keyboard, and is programmable in BASIC. So maybe that would have been my dream machine. I'm actually not sure what that Laser PC4 retailed for. It's surprisingly difficult to find much information about any of these VTech computers. Thanks again to DJ for lending this to me. If you haven't already, check out his channel about NABU and other stuff. And this PreComputer will probably show up there in a future video of his. Okay, thanks very much to my patrons for their support. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. Oh, yeah.